for chronic pain relief. Imagine waking up every single day with pain. It could be pain in your joints, it could be pain in your back, your pelvis, it could be headaches, pain anywhere at all. Pain that's impacting every aspect of your life. It's impacting your relationships, your sleep, your energy, your peace of mind. Pain that's limiting your life, time with family and friends, your spontaneity. Pain that's got you worried about your future. This is a reality for 1 in 5 adults, 20%. And it gets worse as we age. 65% of people over the age of 65 have chronic pain. Chronic pain is the #1 reason people see their doctor, and it's the #1 cause of disability worldwide. In 2025, the pain relief industry was valued at $81 billion, and it's not even working. I know chronic pain. This was me in 2016. I had a very stressful year, the most stressful year of my life. And in 3 months, I went from being strong, healthy, vibrant woman to being nearly disabled because of pain. My joints were swollen. I wasn't sleeping, I had no energy, and I was terrified. I was diagnosed eventually with rheumatoid arthritis, and I was offered as a solution mild chemotherapy drugs for the rest of my life. And they said they probably won't work for very long either. So this terrified me more than the pain, including the side effects. So I'm an engineer, and so I applied engineering problem-solving skills to healing my body. I discovered functional medicine and so much more along the way. Eventually, I reversed the pain. I became a health coach. I am the host of the Wellness by Design podcast and now author of Pain Free on Purpose. And I've helped thousands of people release pain. And what I want to tell you about today is my 30,000-foot view of what I've learned from extensive research, consultation with now hundreds of experts, and my own experimentation. So let's talk about the missing puzzle piece. The missing puzzle piece in chronic pain treatment is not addressing nervous system dysregulation as the true root cause of most chronic pain. We think it's physical, right? Most people are dealing with the upstairs symptoms. They're doing things like medications, injections, surgery. Some people may go a more holistic approach like I did and try anti-inflammatory diets and supplements and other alternative therapies. And that they could be helpful, and they were helpful for me, but it wasn't the whole picture, because underneath all of it, smoldering fire in the basement is nervous system dysregulation. So what I've learned is that most forms of chronic pain are the result of chronic emotional stress. Stress from current life and stress from childhood programming and childhood trauma. The chronic stress response shifts the brain and nervous system into protection mode. Pain is actually the brain's protective signal. Pain is protection in the body. So pain gets learned by the brain, but it can be unlearned. The brain is great at learning. Now, people are making a big mistake. The biggest mistake that keeps people in pain is repeating the patterns that keep the nervous system dysregulated in the first place. So what caused their pain in the first place? So about 90% of our daily thoughts and behaviors are on repeat. We know this. So people are unknowingly repeating the same fear-based thoughts and behaviors that created the pain in the first place. Then they have fear about the pain. Of course, you worry about your future. Then the brain turns on more protection form of pain, and people get stuck in a pain-fear cycle. Unless that pain-fear cycle gets broken, the pain will persist. There's a simple solution. The simple solution to resolve pain is to harness the power of neuroplasticity for nervous system regulation. The brain and the nervous system are neuroplastic. That means they can relearn things. The brain is great at learning, so we teach it how to unlearn pain. So we retrain the brain, we calm the body, and free the pain. Nervous system regulation is a trainable process. When we apply science-backed, simple practices with consistency, then the brain can let go of pain, the nervous system can relax, and the body can do what it does naturally, heal. Future of health begins with nervous system regulation. Chronic pain is not a life sentence. When we retrain the nervous system, healing is possible. And here's the truth. Unless we retrain the nervous system, complete healing is not possible. So here's my challenge to you as health practitioners and leaders in the health space. When you are seeing patients with chronic pain, and frankly, any chronic condition, start with a nervous system forward approach. When we do this, we'll have better results and faster results. If we can make the nervous system the foundation of healthcare, we can impact millions of lives. I'm Jane Hogan, the Wellness Engineer, and my mission is to show the world that pain can be unlearned and living pain-free is possible.
Wow. Taking on a big one.
I know.
Pain.
That's like I keep saying, higher self, did I really have to take on chronic pain?
And you're going up against the pharmaceutical industry, right? Which I love.
Not just the pharmaceuticals, because most people think that their pain has a physical reason. And there are some cases where that is true. But if you talk to some people, like experts like Howard Schuppener, he says 85% of chronic pain cases are actually the brain.
Wow. So what do you recommend from a treatment? Now you talk about the treatment, right, about doing this, but what are some of the methods, the modalities that could be used to help train this brain, right? Because you need to rewire it.
Yeah. Well, the big message that the brain is getting that starts to put in protection mode is that it doesn't feel safe. That we don't feel safe. And that can come from way back when. So we can start to create calm with basic methods. I mean, breath work is a beautiful one. We can do visualization, different things like that. But it's continually giving the brain a different experience with pain. Because normally you have pain, and then, oh no, I've got pain. What's this going to mean? I'm not going to be able to, do my hiking or travel. Instead, we want to give the brain a new experience of here's pain, but hey, I'm safe. I'm fine right now. Everything is good in my world. My brain is just confused and needs a different message. So we have new wiring networks in the brain.
So what about somebody who is in massive pain, right? They're in this downward spiral, right? And they're like, there's nothing that I've tried that has worked, right? So what advice would you give to somebody like that to basically say it's not too late?
I love in my webinars to give people a little experience. So what I'll do is I ask them to rate their pain out of 10 before we begin, and I give them a little experience where I get them very relaxed. I get them to visualize doing something they would love to do that they're not doing now because of the pain, and then really take them in their senses. Let them feel it. What do they see? What do they feel? What do they hear? Taste, smell, all of those things. I get them very sensory in that, and then identify what is the feeling, the emotion that you're experiencing this, and then where do you feel it in your body? Getting into their body again. And then I get them to expand it with the breath, and afterwards, rate their pain again. It's amazing. I mean, I've had people said that had sciatica for 10 years, and it was gone in like 7 minutes. Now, that's a great case. I mean, some people just have it lowered a little bit, but no matter what, this experience of creating a little bit of calm, a little bit of safety, begins to shift the nervous system. So I kind of like to think of it as pearls. So creating pearls like that throughout your day, and then eventually having a full pearl necklace.
So we know the opiate industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they focus on this.
Yeah.
So what do you tell your clients or teach them to do if they've been on these medications for decades? Right? How do you wean them off of these toxic products?
I say work with your doctor, because I am not a doctor. A lot of people, when they do come to me, they are on medications to begin with, and I say work with your doctor, but also, like, let's not see it as an enemy. Let's just say this is a helper and supporter of me. I just want to keep reinforcing safety in them so that they're not like hating this, because if they're hating this pill that they're taking, then it's not going to have a positive effect. So, gradually working with the safety and keep reassuring the brain that it's safe.
So the telling them to work with their doctor, I'm assuming probably the majority of them are working with the traditional health doctor, right? Who's going to prescribe. They have that one trick, right? Like, here's your medication, here's your medication. How do you deal with the fact that, they're talking to their doctor, and their doctor's like, what is she saying? She's lost her mind. Like, how is this going to help the pain? This is going to help the pain, right? So now you have this conflicting, fire now.
Yeah, well, I think whatever the doctor's doing is totally up to them, and that's, what they've learned. So there's no fault in that. But I'm dealing with the person and what they want. And so that's who I'm helping. And, we're just focusing on what can you do. And I really want to empower them, because if they think they've got to go to someone else to have the pain relief, and I think you can create that. That's why I love giving them that little experience. You are the one that created that. And you can just do that over and over again.
No, I love that approach, because you give them a taste and they're like, it's working.
Yeah, it's like, what? Shifting
what's
beliefs?
next?
What? My brain, I could relieve physical pain doing this little exercise. It starts to shift beliefs, because that's a big thing I've got to do is just, talk about taking on chronic pain, but also shifting beliefs that all pain isn't physical.
Jane, thank you, a true rebel with a root cause. I appreciate you and getting this out in the world.
Thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you.